Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Shoutcraft broadcast. Total esports entertainment brought to you by Total Biscuit. And, yeah, so that was like the worst Total Biscuit impression ever. Today, hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is not Total Biscuit, but it is indeed Kyle Aris, and welcome to a best-of-3 series match from the IAM Championships between DuckloadRa, aka DuckloadRa, and QXE, who is, without a doubt, actually one of my favourite Terran players, and I must admit, I am slightly QXE biased, even though I'm supposed to be a Protoss caster. I really enjoy watching QXE play, and he certainly brings the entertainment when it comes to any kind of game, be it PvP, PvT even, TVZ or TVT. I really enjoy actually watching TVT nowadays, as it has evolved somewhat, and it is the most interesting of mirror matchups in my opinion. But regardless, a few things to announce before this does indeed get underway. I have uploaded recently a StarCraft 2 connection video brought to you by the good guys at StarCraft 2, and I'm just doing a little kind of cross-promotional thing there. Big thank you to those guys, as they are absolutely fantastic, especially Suggy for doing that video. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and I didn't actually realise that he was in Complexity Gaming now, and not Root, so, but we do have that nicely cleared up, so no shenanigans going to be going on there. And let's get into this game anyway. As I said before, this was played at the IEM Championships, and I haven't seen any proper casts of it as of yet. It's best of 3 series in the group stages of the IEM. And if you're not already watching the IEM, I strongly suggest you go and watch that. There was some really good games today between Soke and who was it? Now that I think about it, Moon. Although Moon totally, I won't give you any spoilers. Whoa, what is with this frame lag? Pretty gay. And yeah, so you definitely go watch the IEM on ESL TV. It's fantastic. We have Day9 casting there, as well as TLO and some other people casting. I can't remember who the other guy was. Rotterdam casting, yes indeed. So anyway, to this game. DuckloadRa is going to be throwing down that cybernetics core at a pretty normal time. Going to be boosting out some probes as well. So no player here going to be going for some tricky shenanigans very early on. We do have a dual Rax going down for QXE, as well as a very fast, wow, lag, super lag, what on earth. Sorry about that, just had to stop and start again, close as much as I possibly could do, but it's still lagging. Oh my god, this is truly a terrible, terrible day. And I actually had cast these games prior, but then I realised my sound levels were horrible, and you couldn't really hear my voiceover. So that wasn't very good at all. So DuckloadRa are going to be getting double coverage on these buildings here with these pylons, just making sure that he does not have any pylons sniped and these buildings going down anytime. So what is with the... Oh my god, I'm going to rage in the face. That was the most annoying thing ever. That is the last time I'm correcting it, and I hope to god it's fixed. So, sorry about those interruptions. We do have DuckloadRa now throwing down that second gas. I'm just going to be chasing around this probe in the middle of his base. Not going to be doing too much though, although getting quite a lot of scouting intel, although nothing is going on right now out of the ordinary. QXE at this point, as said, does have that fast tech lab out and is going to be creating concussive shells pretty quickly. Concussive shells just a fantastic upgrade to go for really quickly against Protoss. Can really kind of pick off any straggling SCV stalkers or zealots that do end up making their way over the map. And we do have 2 Reapers on the way now for QXE, so interesting play here by QXE. And we don't really see Reapers too often from Terran, and now throwing down that command center. So it's nice to actually see Reapers making a little bit of a comeback, because you never really see them previously for a long time, ever since the changes that were brought in when it comes to getting the upgrades from actually having the factory accessible. So a sentry now out for DuckloadRa, and 2 more gateways on the way. Those 2 Reapers are just about to pop, and do indeed, and we do have another barracks going down for QXE, as well as that second refinery. So he's going to be poking around with these Reapers, hopefully doing quite a bit of damage. I would be interested to see what these do. And we do have them moving in separate directions here. One going to be going up here, but the second one going to be securing this watchtower and checking out what's going on here. So 1 Reaper all just chilling out over here, but as I said before, this Reaper did take out that probe, so DuckloadRa at this point does actually know that there are Reapers out on the field, so probably will be taking precautions, and as such is positioning his units in the middle of his base as opposed to just in the front of his base. and I still have that frame rate lag, but I'm going to be damned if it actually stops me from doing this, because it's not going to. And this stalker just securing the Zelnaga watchtower here, not doing too much, and that expansion for QXE is almost finished, but we do have the expansion from White-Ra going down as well. So going to be able to keep up in economy. This Reaper up here going to be doing a little bit of damage. Does have 1 kill, 2 kills, but does go down. And the SCV was coming to try and help him out, but alas was unable to. Just warping in a few more units here in order to be able to reinforce the front. But at this point, QXE really doesn't look like he's going to be pushing much, as he does have an engineering bay going down as well as a 4th rack. So it really looks like he's going to be committing to a lot of units here. And I'll be right back because my phone's going off. Sorry about yet another interruption. My girlfriend's just been to the dentist and can't talk for shit. So, yeah, that's all good. Pardon my French. So, the engineering bay has just finished for QXE. I'm interested to see what he's going to be doing with that. Probably going to be getting some infantry upgrades anytime soon, but we do have a factory going down as well. And just going to be letting 1 or 2 SCVs out in order to be able to create a defensive position in front of his potential expansion. We do have this probe just scooting out, going to be doing a little bit of scouting, no doubt going to be checking out what's going on down here. Maybe, where is he going? He's going to be, yes, he's going to be scouting this expansion, and he's going to be getting there just in time to see that expansion go down. A nice control here by White-Ra of these 2 Zelnaga watchtowers. People really don't value enough the need for actual kind of map control, and this does indeed, regardless of how flimsy this may look, it does give you a certain degree of map control, so never underestimate that. That being said, QXE is going to be moving out with these 2 Marauders, bringing this Stalker back. Nice play from White-Ra here, saving that Stalker. And now map control has been given over to QXE, so again, flimsy as always with the map control, but that happens from both players. I won't be surprised if we do see that Marauder move over to the other tower in order to secure even more map vision. Nice big transfer there from QXE, and we do see nitro packs on the way from QXE, so he really is kind of committing to more Reaper play, which I really like to see, as Reapers are a dead interesting thing in these games, and you don't see them enough. You really don't see them enough, especially since they can be really potent, especially, oh my god, 4 delayed Reapers moving out across the map now. Probably going to reach just as these nitro packs do finish, and we have stim on the way as well as that plus weapons for those infantry ground units on the QXE's front. More Marines being pumped out as well as a Colossus coming out as well, but White-Ra going to be scooting just past these Reapers, and going to be actually catching some Marauders there, but at the same time these Reapers, I've just dropped a scan and he's going to be killing off a lot of these probes. 3, 4, 5 probes already going down, and now warping in a few units, but oh my god, taking so many probe kills there, and now these probes are going to be forced into the fight here, and going to have to retreat as these Reapers do so much damage to these probes. Oh my god, that must be 20 probe kills between these Reapers already. Trying to pick off that pylon, but Ganesh going to be flying down there. And QXE at this point really needs to be careful. He really doesn't want to go back up there just in case there are units up there waiting for him. And oh my god, there are going to be units waiting for him right there. And that is a pretty bad move from QXE there. He really didn't need to lose those Reapers. Going to be scooting in, getting 2 more probe kills, 3 more probe kills. So even that was still pretty much worth it, because, oh, could he get a Zealot kill? No, he doesn't get that Zealot kill. But at the same time, White-Ra's been keeping quite a close eye on the front of QXE's base with that Observer, so nice use of that Observer there. But he did lose so many probes in that engagement. Let's just go to the Units Lost tab, and the majority of those units lost there have been probes. I'm pretty sure not much else has been lost, apart from maybe a Stalker or 2. So that is a massive amount of probes been lost, almost 20 probes. And so QXE here looking in a really good position, throwing down these missile turrets just in case we do have any like invisible shenanigans of DTs going to be coming in from White-Ra. And QXE sort of really knows the playstyle of White-Ra, I think, from looking at this game. And those Reapers were trying to get in there, but shooed away by that single Stalker, so they're not going to be able to do much at this point in time. So a few Colossus coming out now for White-Ra, and just still scooting around in the base of QXE and seeing pretty much everything that's going on. A starport now going down for QXE, and just more and more infantry coming out, as well as armor level 1 coming down for this infantry as well. Really nice fortified position in the front of QXE's base here, and even this force really couldn't break it, but oh my god, a drop in the back, and that was the strangest English accent ever, but he's going to be running away with that to fight another day. Really, really harassing style of play from QXE here. I really love how aggressive QXE is, and this is why he's one of my favourite Terran players. He just relentlessly pushes the boundaries of what he can do and how many probes that he can kill. So dropping off these units now, nice micro with the Marines, going to be picking off at least one Zealot. Does pick off that Zealot, picks off 2 Zealots, and going to be moving back into that medevac and then moving away. So the trade of 4 Marines for 2 Zealots, pretty similar trade-off there, but at the same time, this medevac has obviously delayed any kind of gas being mined from here. White Ra forgetting to put some guys in gas there, and that medevac is probably going to be able to get away. So really nice play from QXE there, and he really needs to put guys back in that gas, otherwise he's going to be in dire straits. Even this gas only has 2 guys in it, but there is a Reaper at this side here, going to be jumping up and going to be probably picked off by that Stalker. Can he get a probe kill before he dies? He does not get a probe kill. So, but still really nice harassment, really throwing White Rat off his game, as it was evident by these 2 gas geysers, which are now fully saturated. So he's going to be in a really good position, QXE, going into the later stages of this game, bolstering that Viking count in order to be able to deal with those Colossus as well as he possibly can, as well as throwing down another command center. A nice drop going to be going on here, just trying to do even more harassment, but is shooed away by that Stalker and Zealots. So, looks like QXE is going to be gearing up to take that gold expansion. We do have a very large force of White Rat here, going to be moving out across the map. I'm not so sure whether he wants to engage that entrenched position with this force, as it's not as big as one would be led to believe. He did actually see those Reapers moving up with that Observer down there, and was moving his forces back to defend against it. And the Colossus in a nice position in order to be able to take out these units, and one Reaper does barely escape with his life. And now White Rat are going to be using this Observer to keep an eye on these Vikings in order to make sure that they don't pick off any straggling Colossus that may get away from their Stalkers at any point in time. Trying to do another drop here and actually dropping that unit, as it was pretty much going to die from those Stalkers. So now, just bolstering this Viking count even more, as well as getting weapons level 1 for his air units. And it looks like QXE has a really strong Marine Marauder force here. We do have weapons level 2 going down for the Protoss for his ground units, as well as destroying these back rocks, and Charge coming up as well. And Charge is such a crucial upgrade going into the later stages of the game, as it really does double, if not triple, the usefulness and resourcefulness of these Zealots, especially when it comes to being meat shields and actually doing some kind of damage, because Zealots in essence really don't need to do a lot of damage. As long as they soak as much damage as possible, then they are very useful for that Protoss ball in general. Although that being said, later on in the game, I won't be surprised if we do see a much larger transition into Stalkers as opposed to Zealots. So, just going to be trying to pick off another probe with this Reaper, but the Reaper does not get any more kills, and but did get a little bit of harassment off. We do have armor level 2 coming off for White Ra now, so I really like this double forge play. Not enough players use double forge, and I really would like to see that in more games, as well as my own games actually, as if you can get ahead in upgrades, even if you have a lesser force when it comes to like the balance of it, you can still do more swearing. You can still do a crap ton of damage with really upgraded units. But at the same time, this Viking count here is really getting to a point where one volley from these Vikings can take out a single Colossus, which is really bad for White Ra. Whilst QXE really needs to keep a check on the unit count, on the Colossus count of White Ra. QXE can still mess up these Vikings, and White Ra really needs to keep a check on the count of these Vikings indeed. Otherwise he's going to be in a bad spot, because they will just rip through them. So now dropping off, oh my god, dropping off Reapers with this medevac. Really interesting. You don't see that very often, Reapers coming out of a medevac, but going to be shooed away. And those Reapers though did do a lot of damage to this mineral line, and even going to be getting a pylon kill. Really nice. And those charges from those Reapers do a massive amount of damage. 36 damage per charge, so can take out buildings ridiculously easy. That number, of course, whilst they were upgraded with the 2-2 upgrades. So we do have 3-3 upgrades now coming out for QXE, as well as just getting Siege Tech as well, and throwing down another command center, moving that command center into position before it actually morphs into an orbital command. I'm going to be destroying those triple rocks so he can reinforce as quickly as possible. And I'm really interested to see what he's going to be doing in this command center, because it is in a rather strange position. Maybe he's going to be using a planetary fortress, I'm not sure. He does have a planetary fortress here to defend, and these Vikings are going to be coming up here trying to catch a Colossus on their way, and he really needs to move back with those. He could get a Colossus kill here. Oh my god, that Colossus goes down so fast. He only lost one Viking in that engagement, so the Stalkers really didn't do much. He really needs Blink in order to be able to keep up with those Vikings, and those Vikings did a massive amount of damage to that single Stalker Colossus, and in fact taking it down in quick succession. So, going to be moving out with a few Marines here, going to be picking up this lone Zealot. This Zealot does have charge, as was said before, and Blink now indeed being researched by DuckloadRa, so he's going to be able to blink and take out those Vikings accordingly. We do have that planetary fortress in a defensive position. Always interesting to see defensive planetary fortress. So actually, this line here in general, this area is really well defended, as he does have 2 planetary fortress, as well as these very, very mobile bio units. Going to be throwing down a missile turret here in an interesting position, no doubt just to block any kind of sneaky expansions that do go on from DuckloadRa, as well as maybe see any forces that do come along here. That Marauder does indeed take out that Zealot, but this Zealot is forced to retreat, and these Marines now going to be stimming up and trying to take out this guy. Nice micro there from QXE in order to be able to save as many Marines as possible, and now a big move out from DuckloadRa here, but these Vikings are in a really good position to take them out. Oh my god, it just needs one volley takes out that Colossus instantly, and now a lot of damage being done to these Colossus, as well as the bio units of QXE. He doesn't have any medivac, so he can't really heal up these units even though they have stemmed, and the Stalker's doing huge amounts of damage to these Vikings, but a lot of the Colossi have already gone down, and these bio units, all they need to do is really stem and do a lot of damage. Not really the best chance to attack here in this planetary fortress. Really don't want to be attacking a planetary fortress, as it can be repaired quite easily, and indeed it is being repaired, and a lot more bio units now coming out from QXE in order to be able to deal with this as quickly as it possibly can do. But now really dwindling on that Colossus count, even getting high sec auto tracking for these planetary fortress in order to be able to do more damage, as well as increase their range. And going to be in a bad spot here, trapped in between 2 planetary fortress and bio. This is really odd. So now a lot of Vikings out here going to be taking out this Colossus, and they really needs to kind of blink, an odd little blink there, probably just to defend the Colossus as best he can. And this Colossus is trying to do as much damage as possible, almost up to 20 kills. Indeed, does get 20 kills, but it does go down from those Vikings, and now these Stalkers are going to be forced to retreat as quickly as possible. But at the same time, we do have this Colossus trying to pick away at this missile turret, and he is probably going to get this missile turret kill. No, he decides to reinforce these Stalkers, and these Vikings are probably going to get this Colossus as quickly as they possibly can. Nice blink there trying to take out these Vikings, but that Colossus does go down, and at the same time the missile turret is probably going to go down as well. So these Stalkers are trying to do as much poking action as they can do, and we do have these Zealots just idling around here. We even have Ghosts coming out, ladies and gents, as well as Terran building armor. So going to make these planetary fortress incredibly difficult to deal with once that building armor as well as that high sec auto tracking has been increased. And indeed, they do have 7 range with that high sec auto tracking. Going to be taking out this missile turret over here at this expansion, but also going to be retreating with those Zealots, as there is quite a large bio ball going to be moving down to this expansion of DuckloadRa. And this expansion of DuckloadRa's right now is way too late. He already had to do some cancel it initially, but now he's going to be moving back and trying to defend it as best he can against this bio ball. Although this bio ball is now dwindling, only 5 Marauders left, but it is being reinforced by some Ghosts as well, and the Ghosts do so much damage to these Zealots, whilst the Zealots just do no bonus damage to these Ghosts. They are indeed fully psionic, or at least I think they are fully psionic. Yeah, biological psionic even. So, doing a little bit more of poking action with these Stalkers down in the bottom position, going to be shutting down all the economy of QXE in this position here. All these SCVs forced to not do an absolute damn thing, but DuckloadRa really needs to get his economy up, as he only really has this one base fully mining. He doesn't even have his assimilators there, so really needs to get that sorted as quickly as possible. Siege tanks now placed here in order to be able to fend those off, so all he really needs to do is scan up here. Oh no, he's going to be flying a barracks over in order to get high ground vision. Really nice use of that barracks, just to make sure that he can defend that with those guys. A Viking here going to be misplaced slightly and going to be taken out by those stalkers pretty damn quickly. So QXE here in a real position of dominance, in my opinion. Going to be stimming up, going to be moving down into this position. Nice scan to see what is going on here. Going to be moving up here, going to be using these medivacs in order to heal up these units. Nice EMP going off there, doing a lot of damage to those units. And really needs to take out that Colossus as it is ripping through these units. And going to be moving into the back here with these ghosts, trying to pick off as many probes as he can. Actually focusing down on those probes with these ghosts. But now these ghosts are going to be focusing down that Zealot. And another Colossus coming in here, picking up those units. Are going to be taking them to the high ground away from that Colossus. Bringing in even more units here. Just going to be reeling away and killing another Colossus. All these Colossus going down so hard. These Stalkers at the back were trying to do a little bit of poking damage in this expansion of QXE, but these siege tanks were able to fend that off pretty damn easily. And we do have now, this expansion is indeed going to go down pretty soon from White-Ra, and I'm really not sure what White-Ra can do in this position. QXE battling on so many fronts, really doing so much harassment here, and White-Ra does indeed GG, and we are going to go on to Game 2 of QXE versus DuckloadRa in what seems to be a pretty epic series. So thank you very much for watching this first game, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you see, please subscribe, and I will see you for Game 2 very shortly.